Today on Sugar Spun Run, I'll be showing you how to make my favorite chocolate chip cookie bars. Hey Sugar Spun Bakers, Sam here, and today I am so excited to be sharing another carefully tested, well-researched, and perfected recipe. These are my favorite cookie bars. They are so much easier to make than cookies because there is no chilling, no scooping, there's no electric mixer required. So simple, so chocolatey, and soft, and perfectly gooey on the insides. Now to get started, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, you're going to want to go ahead and melt 1 cup, or this is typically 2 sticks, of unsalted butter. Now you don't want this butter to be scorching hot when you proceed, but it doesn't have to be completely back to room temperature either. We'll also be adding 1 cup of firmly packed light brown sugar and 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. We'll stir everything together until the butter is well combined with the sugar, and next we're going to add our eggs. So for today's recipe, we'll be using 2 large eggs, and we're also going to be using an additional egg yolk. This extra egg yolk helps to keep the cookies nice and tender and chewy. We'll also be adding 1½ teaspoons of vanilla extract, and we'll stir everything together until it's well combined. Now in a separate bowl, we're going to combine our dry ingredients, starting with 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. We'll also add 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, which again is another key ingredient that helps make the cookies or the cookie bars nice and soft and tender. It also helps keep them from being too cakey, which is one thing I hate in a cookie bar. We'll also add 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. We'll just whisk everything together until it's well combined. And we're just going to gradually add our dry ingredients into the butter mixture and stir until that's completely combined. All right, the final thing that you need for today's recipe is 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. We'll stir these in until they're well combined. And today's recipe can be baked in either a 13x9 baking pan or a 9-inch square baking pan. I'm going to be using a 9-inch square pan today just because I like the bars to be thicker and chewier. Now you can just lightly grease the pan if you'd like, but I like to line mine with a piece of parchment paper. That way when the cookie bars are finished baking and they've cooled, I can very easily lift them out of the pan and cut them that way. We'll go ahead and spread that batter, and we're going to smooth it out so it's nice and even on the surface. And then I like to grab a few extra chocolate chips and just sprinkle them over the surface. This is optional, it just makes the bars look a little bit nicer when they're finished. All right, we'll pop these in our preheated oven where they're going to need to bake for about 30 to 35 minutes. You'll want to look for the edges to be beginning to turn a nice golden brown color, and a toothpick inserted in the center of the bars should come out clean or with a few moist fudgy crumbs. All right, we're going to let these cookie bars cool completely, and then once they have cooled, we're going to be able to very easily lift them out of the baking pan because we use that parchment paper. And we can go ahead and dig in. Let's cut ourselves a piece. And that is how you make the absolute best chocolate chip cookie bars. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe, and if you try this one out, please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. I always love hearing from you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. So good.